Everybody, welcome back to the Gunn Project. This is episode 2. I apologize about I didn't get to you back week because I'm trying to put out vlogs weekly, but working, traveling from one coast to the other, one country to the other country, time zone getting mixed up, it's been a thing, but I do apologize for that. Want to talk about last vlog that I did put out, last podcast, Black British, things like that. My goal is never to be divisive. My hope is that somehow we can put aside our differences and just become one and work together and become unified instead of this division. And part of me feels like the division only applies online. Like, I've never heard this conversation outside of the internet, outside of Instagram, outside of YouTube. I'm not really on TikTok, so I don't even have a TikTok account, so I can't say also out on TikTok. But I'm sure it is on TikTok as well. But, we can't keep pointing the finger at one another and think anything is going to get done. We found the solution. Everybody wants to be respected. Cool. What is the solution so we can move forward? But my thing is, a lot of times you just have to ignore people. You have to ignore things. And that's what today's podcast is, just the art of ignoring. And my thing is, especially with this whole Black British, Black American debate, like I said, it only ends online. If you really pay attention to it, right? Most people that make these, let me say this, we know that majority of takes that are put online are divisive and negative, right? And we know that negative gets the most engagement majority of the time. So if we ignore it, it'll go away. But if we keep feeding into it, it exists. If we keep sharing it, if we keep commenting on it, if people keep commenting on things, right? The algorithm doesn't see, oh, he's getting negative comments on that video. They don't see that. What they see is this video is getting engagement because so many people have to make their point and be heard or be told. Tell somebody else, oh, you're wrong, this is the right way, whatever it is that people say under these comments. That's what the algorithm sees. Oh, they're getting engagement. And then also people take it and share it to whatever, their Facebook profile, their Instagram story. So now they got a larger reach. More people get to see it. Then they get angry, and then other people gonna comment on it. And then that's why some of these platforms are the way that they are. Sure, you have some people who might agree with them, but in reality, like the Black British, that what you see online, it makes up a small portion of how the Black Americans that don't really think that way or feel that way about Black British people. My reach is a little bit, I'm around people. I'm just going to specifically say Black people, but I'm around a lot of different other races. But I'm just going to say for Black people, I'm around Black people in the corporate world. I'm around a lot of Black people in the middle range where it's not like super corporate, but it's not, street. It's, like a regular job, just a regular job. And I'm also friends with people who are part of the street life or whatever like that, Not one time do I ever hear that debate ever come up in person. I only see it online. Again, now, one time in my entire life have I ever thought about, oh, I want to talk no mess about the Black British because they did this. I don't know. How I look at us, we all are Black across the diaspora from whatever country, whether it's in Europe, Africa, South America, North America, Asia, wherever it is, we all are Black and we all are descendants from the continent of Africa. We're all the same. We all are fighting for the same exact thing. Can we just not come together? But I usually ignore those debates. I don't even indulge in those debates because it doesn't apply to me, because I'm just like, what's the point? It's pointless, right? And even if you go on some of these posts, most posts, depending on their platform, they get 100 to 300 comments. And even if all the comments are agreeing with that person, that makes up a small percentage of that group of people. Just ignore it. A lot of times some stuff does not need to be said. Just ignore it, because we know these people are making these takes because they want to get views, they want to get likes, and they want to make money off of it. If you pay attention, most of these people that post these things, they don't even reply to anybody in the comment. It's just y'all arguing between one another in the comments. That's what it is. It's just y'all arguing with each other in the comments. Another thing that I should say, the art of ignoring. Passport bros, right? I know everybody gives them a bad look. I follow a few passport bros only because they are solid dudes in my opinion. Lord Williamson and International Zoe in Check in Effect, right? They've never been on a platform and talked bad about black women ever. Ever. Lord Williamson always talks about his mother in high regards, and he shows respect. He always say, "I ain't never talked." He's never said that. Yeah, sure, he has women, but in his videos sometimes, but it's not on a creepy type level. Basically, you got to get engagement for that type. International Zoe the same way. He does a lot of touristy things. That's why I watch him. So when I go to that country, I know some of the touristy things to go to, the restaurants and places to eat. That's what he does. Chet goes to the off beaten path places. I like that too because I do some of that stuff too when I visit countries. But some reason some of y'all just can't ignore them and the things that they say, the ones that are out here talking down about black women. My thing is, why can't you ignore them? I wouldn't have found out about Passport Bros when I did in 2022. I was in the dentist office just, on mute looking at reels and things like that, and came across a friend of mine who I went to high school with. We went to the same college, and I was scrolling and I noticed that it popped up Passport Bros. In my mind, I'm thinking she's talking about brothers traveling, because at that time on Twitter and other places the debate was why black men don't travel as much as black women. So that's what I thought she was talking about. And then I saw her face scrunch up and I'm like, why she get mad about brothers traveling? So once I got at the dentist office, I listened to her reel. She was talking about there's a guy on TikTok telling black men to leave America and stop dating black women. And, I'm thinking like, I know it ain't no dude out here saying that for real. So me being me, I go to his TikTok page, which his name is Austin Holloman. And I looked at all his videos at that time, and not one time did he ever say black men stop dating black women. He said American women. So, of course, I called my friend. I was like, hey, I saw your reel. Like, why are you so upset about this passport, bro? And she was like, well, he telling black men to leave America and stop dating black women and this and that. I said, listen, I watched all his videos. He never said that. He said American women. And she goes, well, he's black and you know what he I said, you cannot assume that. And said, first of all, would you date him? She was like, no, he's not even in the age range. So I said, why does that even bother you? If you would not date him, he's not in your age bracket of men that you would date, why are you worried about what he said? He's not taking away from your pool. That's how I look at that. All these passport bros that y'all keep reacting to, the ones that do talk down on black women, y'all call them dusty, y'all call them broke, y'all call them ugly. Why would y'all give them that shine if you would not date them, or they're not even taken away from your dating pool? Why? Because they said something about you and you can't ignore it? And you gotta clap back, and all you're doing is giving them a bigger platform and more engagement and more views, more people that's gonna find out about them. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying that that's the case for all the time, but that's just my opinion. Ignore them and it'll go away. If you don't respond to them, what would they have to respond back to? Because a lot of them I see, all they do is just respond back to what you said, responded and what they said, and it's just a back and forth thing, right? Just ignore them. Just it's that simple. Ignore them. When the internet was going, and I'm glad this is dying down, but when the 50-50 take was going on, like, should relationships be 50-50? I never indulged in that either, because again, that does not apply to me. If a woman goes 50-50, or if a man want to take care of his woman or whatever like that, or if somebody posts, oh men cheat. You see so many men in the comments that be like, well, not all men. My thing, if it doesn't apply to you, my brother, just keep scrolling. Now, I get it. Sometimes it's hard to ignore people. And I'm going to give you an example of me where For 2 years, I ignored this dude. I went to elementary school, middle school, and high school with him. He never graduated high school, but he was on this kick about the earth is flat. And I don't care how y'all feel. If you a flat earther, I mean, this is my take on it or whatever like that. You can like it, you can ignore it, or you can comment on it. But I ignored him for 2 years because he just kept rambling on about the earth is flat, earth is flat, earth is flat, blah, blah. So my flight was delayed. I had time. So I entertained him. I said, so explain to me how the earth is flat, right? Now, this brother never graduated high school. He wasn't a great student. And then that's not to say that he couldn't have gained the knowledge once he got older and, things like that. But I don't know you from 18 on up. I know you from 18 on down. So that's all I have to go off of. But also how I think in logic and facts. That's how I operate, logic and facts, right? He couldn't give me any logic and facts because this is what I said. So I've been to Japan. I've been to, what is it? The very end of Africa, down in Cape Town, Cape of Good Hope. I've been down there, right? I said, how is it if the earth is flat? My hand is the earth, it's flat. So that means the sun would be right here. How is it that when I'm in Japan and it's 10 o'clock at night, I can FaceTime my mother in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's daylight? If the earth was flat, wouldn't the sun be sunny everywhere? You know what I'm saying? That's just my logic of thinking, right? Now, he couldn't answer me. He got mad and said, I'm just sheep and I follow everything. But I said, you want me to follow you without any real evidence or anything like that. You just want me to believe you. Isn't that the same thing as being a sheep? Following somebody with no hardcore evidence? My thing is, I wanted to be a research scientist when I went to college because I wanted to research monkeys and some of the diseases that they can live with that humans can't. And then I saw the math that I had taken. I switched that quickly. So I have a lot of friends that are research scientists. One thing I know about research scientists, when you do research, sure, you got to do the book studies, the book research and everything like that. But you got to go out in that field and do field studies. If I want to know the migrant patterns of silverback gorillas, first I need to do the book research, but then I need to take myself to Uganda and go live out there with them and study them, get up in the morning and watch them, their every move in order to make a accurate study about that migration patterns, which I know before anybody said, I know gorillas don't migrate in the sense of form of how birds migrate. That was the first thing that came to my mind. But you get the point and the gist of it, right? You got to go out in the field. Every person I know that did research in college, they had to go out in the fields. I went to college in Alabama. So when they had to go research, they had to go to some lake or some swamp, some type of water and do some type of study and then bring it back and then do that. Brother, you ain't been outside of 285 in Atlanta. You ain't even been outside the state of Georgia, but I'm supposed to believe you, a person who has not been and done any field research. So I could have ignored him, but at that time, I ignored him for 2 years, and then I indulged into it. And another thing, people, I don't know what it is, the reason why most people can't ignore people, but what my dad used to tell me a long time ago, he said, son, it doesn't matter how much truth, how much facts you prove, what people truly believe in their heart is going to supersede all that. And I think Deontay Cal even said the same thing in the sense, he said people's ideology is going to supersede any facts that you put to them. It doesn't matter. I can tell you this shirt is black. You can tell me but if you believe it's green, no matter what I show you and tell you, it's going to supersede whatever fact I have. So in a sense, it's kind of like pointless sometimes, unless it's healthy debate. But a lot of times, man, we are making people money just off of sheer engagement alone and nothing else. And people always ask, man, how does he still have a platform? No fugazi. He got exposed for whatever you want to call it, but yet he still has a platform because people cannot stop engaging into him. People still watch his YouTube. People still watch his podcast. People still tune in and listen to him. what is it, fresh and fit and whatever. Like my thing is, some people you just gotta ignore them to make them go away. Because once you ignore them and they get no response, no engagement, eventually it goes away. Charleston White, another person that everybody hates because of the way he is doing things, but they still can't ignore him. Now, I personally like Charleston White because Charleston White reminds me of my father. My dad's gonna troll you a little bit, but then he gonna drop that knowledge on you at the same time because he got to get your attention. Because when he's just talking to you, you ain't gonna listen to him for real. Same thing with Charleston White. When he was on the internet talking calmly, well spoken, bow tie, nobody was listening. He didn't go viral until he went ballistic at a board meeting, a school board meeting, because he cared more about the children, what that school system was doing. And then he went viral. And then he realized how to get people's attention. He had to play the character. He played the character. It's like y'all can't see outside the character and versus looking at his message. Because y'all be like, well, why he can't just give the message? He was giving the message before he went viral. Nobody was watching him. Before he started doing all the cussing and antics and the trolling and things like that, nobody was listening to him. Nobody. Y'all gotta understand that if most people would actually promote people who don't have to go into a character or do these things or say these divisive takes, they would never be around. But again, I understand everybody. I understand that the world that we live in everybody has a voice and everybody wants to have a voice and everybody wants to tell, hey, listen, you're wrong. This is why you're wrong. But some stuff, man, we just gotta ignore. We can't promote. I just think back over the years, even before the word viral was viral. I'm gonna go back to Ice JJ Fish. If you know who Ice JJ Fish is, you know that boy cannot sing. But folks was just sharing his posts and his videos, and he made money. Now he didn't sustain it. Like he doesn't have any, he's not as popular as he is now. But people do know who Ice JJ Fish is if they was around during that time. What's another one? The Cash Me Outside girl. Another person that should not have been made famous, in my opinion. Whether you like her or not, I'm just saying this is in my opinion. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. But my thing is, it's just, and you can apply that to everyday life. Some people don't deserve your energy. And it seems like we give our energy to things that we shouldn't be giving it to. And then we wonder why we feel the way that we feel at the end of the day. Probably if somebody was to troll me on the internet, man, again, yeah, I see it, but why am I going to shed light to it? Because 9 times out of 10, most people on the internet, they'll say things on the internet behind a fake profile. My thing is this: if you say, I have more respect for you if you were able to say the same stuff from your real profile versus your fake profile, because people know that there's consequences if they do it from their real profile. There's very few people that will say things from their real profile that they would say in your face. That's what the internet is. A lot of people will say things on the internet, but they won't say it to your face. 2 Chainz had a story where it was a guy that said something to him, you know what I'm saying? He kind of remembered his face, and then when he saw him in another city, the dude asked him for his autograph, and 2 Chainz remembered, like, nah, man, you was the dude that was trolling me. Like, people remember faces. You may think they won't remember your face because they see so many people or see so many comments, but if you're a constant troll, they're going to see you. They're going to know who you are, and then when you try to, let me holler and try to get a interview, let me try to get an autograph from them, they're going to remember that. We shouldn't give our energy and time to people who don't deserve our time. There are a lot of people out here doing positive things for the community. There are a lot of people out here doing positive things in the world that deserve more shine than what we give them. You know what I'm saying? Prime example, Deontay Cow's podcast. I can't think of the brothers from Chicago, but their podcast, I think it's 4 or 5 of them. It starts with a J. I can't think of it right now, but it's one of the guys. I'm gonna say locks, but everybody got locks. But there's some brothers from Chicago, some young brothers from Chicago. They talk about everything. They should be bigger than what they are currently. We should give our energy to stuff like that. And, you know, anything that happens politically, we all know is to get a rage out of us. Prime example, I'm going to give you another prime example person that people gave too much shine to. Owens. Candace Owens. You know, yeah, she was saying all these things. And again, I seen it as she was playing the money play role. And I ignored Candace Owens. I didn't respond to it. Everybody was responding to Candace Owens, but not knowing you're making her more money. You're making her more famous than what she is. Again, she's going through her thing right now, and guess what? Who's ignoring her? Trump. She thought she had an ally, and you know what I'm saying? She was going on this wild goose chase with the French Prime Minister's wife was a man and stuff like that. I'm like, why does that even matter to you? What does that have to do with anything when she was talking about that? I said, and now look at you. Now you're getting sued and you're expecting the president. He ignored you just like the rest of us should have ignored you as well. Right? But everybody can't. And I don't understand why it's so hard for people to just ignore people and just be like, oh man, that ain't nothing. And it's almost like we like I'm not going to say we like the negativity, but why would you keep that up in your life? Like, why would you get upset about somebody that you don't know, somebody that you never met, but you're going to get upset about what they said? That has no bearings on your life. For real. If you didn't know Candace Owens personally, her takes, that's her personal opinion. If it doesn't apply to you, why does it make you so mad? We know that all people who are the same color don't think the same. They don't act the same. Whether they're white, black, Latino, whatever, they're not going to think the same. They're not going to vote the same. They might not eat the same foods. They have very difference of opinions. Candace Owens was no different to me. She was no different to me. Now, she started to go another rhetoric, and I'm like, dang, I never thought I would agree with Candace Owens on some of the things that she just recently started saying and how she spoke out about Palestine, Israel, and with the whole Palestinian situation or whatever like that. And I was like, Tucker Carlson was another one. I'm like, dang, brother, you was on Fox talking on this rah-rah, but now you done did a whole one, you just flipped the script on everybody. So, again, man, like a lot of things is just made on this internet to get a reaction out of you. Ignore it. Ignore it. Because the more we respond, the more they get a platform and a bigger platform and get introduced to people. I'm gonna tell you another thing, and I know this is old news, but when Lil Nas X first came out and he did the blood in the Nike shoes or whatever it was, devil, twerking on the devil, whatever it was, right? My grandmother, who was 78 years old at the time, she called me and asked me, hey, you heard about the Lil Nas X boy? I was like, what you talking about, Granny? Yeah, somebody said he was twerking on the devil and this and that. I said, Granny, where do you see this at? Because my grandmother does not listen to anything but gospel and jazz music. She said, I saw it on the Facebook. She said somebody shared it or whatever. I said, that's crazy, right? My grandmother, who does not know who Lil Nas X is, never heard of Lil Nas X, he blew up. Well, he was already with Old Tyrone, but people, by sharing his video, introduced him to a whole new audience that never knew he even existed. My grandmother never knew Lil Nas X existed. Never. She watched the video. She even left a comment on the video. More engagement and boosting them up. And again, I have no problem with Lil Nas X, whatever like that. I just use that as a reference because that was something that happened to me personally, and it was brought to my attention by my grandmother. So, man, it's a lot going on in this world, and I feel like we could put our energy towards something else versus some divisive things. It's just a lot, man. It's just a lot. And sometimes I wish I could not see it, but there are people that share things. There are things in my algorithm that pops up, and then I'm forced to see it. Like, everybody's on Young Thug and all this other stuff. Like, why does that even matter? What did that got to do with anything? I get it. It's entertainment. We want to be entertained. But man, bro, this whole street, man, I ain't grow up in the street. I was never a street dude. And if I ain't committing no crime, I'm telling on my own brother. Like, brother, you killed somebody. No, 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 no. You not. Me and my brother already had this conversation. Listen, if we went out there robbing together, and you was just out there robbing, and you want to try to bring that to my house, nah, brother. I'm telling. Hey, Mr. Policeman, Mr. Police. Yeah, I got him. He right here. I'm telling. Cause for what? I'm not a. What the? You got 50-year-old man talking about, oh, no snitching, no snitching. Listen, if I'm not out there doing it with you, if I'm out there doing it with you and then I tell, yeah, that's snitching. Because I'm still, oh, he the one that did it, but I was out there doing the same thing too. That's how I look at this whole snitching thing, but that's the topic of discussion now. Everybody's talking about it. And again, I get it. We're all on this internet. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to talk about whatever subject is happening at that moment. That's, the it news. So when Shannon Sharp had his thing, everybody was talking about it. When Cardi B and Offset was doing their thing, that was the thing. When Cardi B and Tavon Diggs, I think it was, that was a topic of discussion. Like, that's what it is. I get it. When it was the whole 50-50 thing, everybody was talking about the whole 50 because they knew at that time that was getting engagement, which brings me back to my point. The whole Black British, Black American thing, a lot of reason why it's keep going on is because that's what's getting engagement right now. And they know people are going to respond to it. They know people are not going to ignore it. So, said it all, man, just ignore stuff. It's that simple for me. It's that simple. I get on the internet, I try to laugh. I try to follow as many comedians as possible that I like. I don't follow too many celebrities. Meg Thee Stallion, of course, we already know why I follow Meg Thee Stallion. Kelly Rowland, that was my first love. When Destiny's Child first came out, everybody was like, oh, I like Beyonce. Man, I've been on Kelly since Destiny's Child came out. Kelly, that's my future ex, whatever. But don't tell her that, but you know what I'm saying. So I don't follow too many celebrities, so I don't keep up with celebrity stuff. Again, their life has nothing to do with me. If I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't. People ask me, oh, you see what happened? No, I don't. I don't. Because their lifestyle is very different than mine. And I guess you can kind of say I ignore it until the time comes. Like I said, if I see it, I see it. But if I don't, I'm going to just be like, nah, I don't. So, man, listen, life is too short, man. Laugh. It's too short to be upset all the time. And especially at strangers. Strangers, it's crazy. Unless they did something to you physically or stole some money from you, then I can understand. But if you've never met them, all they did is use some words to type on a keyboard and that made you upset and ruin your whole day, yeah, come on, dog. Come on. And again, I know it's easier said than done. I've been there before. I know it's easier said than done. And I just thought about this. If you're going to get upset about me about the flat earth thing, listen. Show me the work in the field, and then I can believe something else. There's only one thing about the flat earth that somebody said that made me think. He said, what if it was so massive that it looked round? And I was like, huh. But you still got to show me the work, though, in the field. Because what most people do is on this internet when they're looking to solve a problem, we know right now there's a fact. For every fact, there's something to prove it right, and then there's another fact to prove it wrong. A lot of people only look for people that agree with them and not look for people to challenge their answers so they can kind of go back and do the research and go back and forth. They look for people to agree with them. And so it's kind of disingenuous. So I ignore people who come with me and I'll be like, what's your source? Well, this guy on YouTube, there you go. See, did he cite his sources where he got his information from? No. Okay, so he just on the internet talking. Just like I'm talking to you all. But at the end of the day, when I'm talking to you all, I'm going to state my sources and I'm going to state my facts from where I got them from. So that way you can go look them up yourself. And that way you can see it yourself as well. I'm not just going to be like, well, there is something, the Eisen Road Bridge, I saw it because I crossed it 2 years ago, you know what I'm saying? And I have no video proof of it. But I can give you proof of there are penguins in South Africa, in Cape Town. I can give you proof that I saw a Japanese woman leave her purse when I was in Japan for about 30 minutes while I was eating. Nobody touched it. She came back and grabbed it like it's nothing. I can tell you down in Brazil that most black people blend in down there because the people look just like us. For those who don't know, and that they are beautiful people down there. I can show you proof of that. I can show you the same proof of Lisbon, that the same pastel that they have in Lisbon, they have in Macau. They also have it down in Brazil. I can show you a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? When I come to talking about this traveling stuff, I'm going to state my facts and I can show you the facts. So anytime I come with any information, I'm going to give you the facts when it comes down to that, or my personal experience. But in the end of the day, these are all just my personal opinions. I know a lot of the things that I say are easier said than done. Like ignoring people, sometimes it's just hard. I get it. It was hard for me to ignore that dude for 2 years. For 2 years, it was hard for me because I saw it every single day. I opened up that blue app. I saw it every single day. And he was saying some wild stuff, and it was times where I just wanted to just go in, but I didn't. So today, lesson, man, just ignore people. If you don't want people to be famous, and I know you're only one person, I'm only one person, that's not the masses, but hopefully the masses will start to get it and understand, hey man, if we ignore people, they'll just go away because they have no platform to keep putting stupid information on. But for the people who are doing positive things, people who are doing good for the community, those are the people that deserve our engagement. Those are the people that deserve our view. Those are the people that deserve our share, our engagement, so we can have more of those and less of the BS platforms that you see, the passport bros, the people who are talking down about black women, the divisive of the diasporas. Ignore those. Let them fall to the wayside and let them go on and try to find something else to do and regroup and be like, hey man, you want us to give you support? Come correct. Bring that positivity and stop bringing this negative stuff, because we are already divided enough as a people. We don't need anything else that's dividing us. So, hey man, that's the end of the podcast. I'm finna call it a night. I'll see you guys in the next one. Always hug on the ones that you love. Tell the ones that you love them.